Good morning, everyone. So the other day I had moved the ginger from where it was over there in amongst the jackfruit trees and everything. It was mainly to stabilize the jackfruit trees, the bigger pots, and try to keep them from turning over. But I moved it on over here and cleaned out the pots. And so today I'm adding in the ash and the charcoal that I cleaned out of my wood heater during the winter. And I say add an inch. I don't know. I just pile it in. And once it is wet down, it will contract some. But anyway, I put a good layer of potash or wood ash, whatever, on my ginger here. And then this is just the potting mix that has the coconut and peat moss and perlite and such in it. And the ginger just grows up pretty well from it, and that was what I did last year and really had a great crop of ginger. So that's what I'm going to go back to doing, and it should have been done weeks ago, but I've just been real slow and having some hard times getting things done here lately. I just think the little jackfruit trees are so beautiful, but I don't know what in the world I'm going to do with them this winter because all three of these are already too big for the greenhouse, as is the avocado. Avocado's just growing to beat the band and growing too much for its own good. This is my turmeric in here, and it has really just gone crazy. New shoots coming up, which means there's new tubers or rhizomes or whatever you call turmeric. I can't remember all that stuff. These days I have a hard time remembering my own damn name. These are the hibiscus that I got from Todd. And last year, whenever I planted them, he sent me seed. And I never had a flower, but this year I do have some blooms coming on them. I've taken some cuttings. He had told me they're a red color. And I had intended to have them planted in the yard somewhere, and he says they will come back in Texas, that they come back every year, so I'd planned on planting some in the yard, but just another one of them that ain't happened yet. My chrysanthemums down there, I need to divide them up and start some more pots. With all the rains we've been having, my kratom, however you want to pronounce it, has just gone crazy. I used the spray and grow fertilizer on it, and it's been 3 or 4 weeks now since I've sprayed it, but it is just growing with all the rains and the high humidities, and it still has a good leaf color, and it's really doing well. I had some of those big old giant grasshoppers, locusts, or whatever you want to call them, out here munching the other day, and I pulled their little heads off, or their big heads off. They were quite large, bigger than my thumb, and it don't take them long, and they can sure make a showing on some of the leaves. But as much of it as there is, I sure enough got some I can share with the wildlife, I guess. I had kind of hoped that maybe the pineapple sage and the mints and everything else around would deter more of the critters, in which if I move them it might get worse. I don't know. The crown of thorns is just always, to me, adds a lot of joy to my life, and the color, and I think they're just beautiful. Got a lot of little ones coming up in the various pots. And this is the other ginger I've got to get drug out of there. And all the little stuff coming up down there in the pot, that's the salvia like this, and they have gone to seed, and I got oodles of them, and I'd planned on trying to plant them out by the road ditch, or in the road ditch out by the mailbox, and I intended to have more of the tea hibiscus planted out. But just like I said, can only do so much anymore, and it just ain't got no stamina. Time I do a little housework, which I'm very lacking in, and the yard work, and just trying to keep the weeds up where I don't step on a snake. But this was the galanga here, and then I've got that in the greenhouse in there that is doing really well, and I got to get the grass out of it. And then in here is my garlic, and I noticed the other day that one had set little bublets and bulbs, or however you want to say it, and you can replant them and grow more garlic, and which keep from using your clothes. But I was intending to go ahead and take all the garlic up, and I started yesterday whenever I'd boxed up the winnings, the 4th of July winnings for some folks. One had asked for some turmeric, and I had mentioned that I had a pot here that had turmeric in it, so I took it apart yesterday, and it rained, and so it's pretty wet and pretty heavy right now. But anyway, I was able to share out the turmeric, and I'm glad of that. I do enjoy sharing stuff. And I'd shared some cuttings of the Mexican petunia also with him, and that's the blue, and that's the pink. And I didn't write on the thing that it's Mexican petunias, but that was what, whenever you get the packaging, it says blue and pink, that's what you got. And it's easy to root. Just stand it in a cup of water, and most times in a week you'll see roots. This was another little jackfruit that last year I thought was going to die, and it came back out this year, and it's had a lot of new growth on it. And my mango tree was just beautiful, and all of a sudden, I don't know what happened to it, but it died. The top of it died, and it's branching back out. And anyway, I'll take it as it comes. This hibiscus has made some seed, and I hope that it'll keep doing, and the seeds are good, because I intend to try to share them with some people that have asked about them. And it's easy enough to mail a few seed. Well, need to get back to work. My little curry trees are coming, leaf or whatever, are really coming out. And all of this is new growth on my Yaba Mate. I don't know if I pronounced that right or not. And the other day I did get around to repotting the 2 little miracle fruits that I have left over here. And I've got to dig the big one out. It has little fruits on it still, and needs repotting bad, but it's got new growth on it to beat the band also. Blessings all.